Today we're going to be visiting my old mall, talking about some good memories I have here. My old abandoned, well, somewhat abandoned mall. It's still technically in operation, but not very good. I have been wanting to make this video for quite some time of this mall here because I'm standing currently where my mom would drop me off every Friday, and we would go in here and there was all kinds of cool things to do. And unfortunately, the mall is really not in operation the way that it used to be. But given that this is a physical media page, I have to go back to the past. And this is where I got my first movie, my first CD, my first tape, toys, video games, all came behind this mall. So let's go take a look together. I wish that you guys could smell this because it smells like nostalgia. They still decorate for the holidays here. I'm gonna go up to this way first because I don't remember spending a whole lot of time up here. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not really sure what any of this used to be. Like I said, I don't really remember what this used to be. I know that there used to be a photo opportunity over here for like Christmas. I thought I would film this part of the mall first because I wasn't up here as much as a kid. I want to say that this was a, I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But let's get down here to the stuff that I do remember. I want you to use your imagination for a minute and imagine it's a Friday night in the 90s, late 80s, and imagine all the way down through there. There's Christmas lights on both sides. There's Christmas lights hanging up through here. All kinds of stores, bookstores, and I can still smell it. I always come here and walk on rainy days just to kind of reflect. But when we get down to the heart of that area, just imagine cigarette smoke, your grandmas on these benches smoking a Winston 100 while you're running out, and kids everywhere. I miss those days, man, but when we get down there, we're gonna have some fun. So right over there is the beauty zone, which at one point in time, I got my hair dyed blonde. You know, Eminem was a big thing, don't hate. But this right here is the area I remember the most. This little area right here used to have the best cookies ever. But this area, this was the food court. This was Cinemark, where I watched so many movies. I spent so much time up here as a kid and just had the best time. And we're gonna cover that too. And man, just look at that. So sadly we can't walk in here, but this used to be the food court. Like right there was an Arby's, and then the food court wrapped all the way around over to here. And there was a Chinese restaurant right there at that last door. Used to be a Jolly Time arcade, but right in that area, there used to be a Cinemark, and this is where I watched so many movies. Blair Witch Project, Scream 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween. So many movies were watched in this area. Now you can go into these back doors too, and believe it or not, around Halloween time, this is a Spirit Halloween, but this Cinemark, I mean, Freddy vs. Jason midnight release. I've seen so many movies, and I was here opening night for Star Wars, Episode 1, and the line started like right at this, where my finger is, and came all the way out here, and then all the way down this, and then down that way, and I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, this was the old food court in Cinemark. I watched so many movies, Demon Knight, you know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the Omen remake, The Exorcist. So many movies were watched in this area, and then the food court, and then of course the arcade. Just miss that place. I am sad and grateful that this place still exists, but I miss how it used to be, man. This place was the best. So many fond memories here. These two stores are new. I'm not gonna record that store because it's a physical therapy place out of respect, but I don't remember what this used to be, but this used to be a video store, a CD store, and this is where my parents pre-ordered Robin Hood. And when you pre-ordered Robin Hood, the Kevin Costner movie, you got the Bryan Adams CD or the cassette single. And this is where I bought my first CD. This is where I bought my first Tupac CD, Me Against the World, right there behind that wall. I believe it was a Sam Goodies. It's been 1,000 different things since then. This right here used to be a bookstore, I believe. I'm not really I can't remember the name of the bookstore, but that right there was a Doll Hairs. That is where you got all your Tommy Hilfiger, your Jinko, the good stuff. But this area right down through here is where I spent the majority of my time at the mall. Unfortunately, the mall now is primarily, you know, like churches, which I'm not going to show out of respect, and government buildings. There's not as many stores here as there used to be, but I'm about to take you to the mecca of my childhood. So many fond memories down through this little area. This right here, this was it. This was KB Toys. This is where I came every Friday when I was in grade school. As long as I didn't get any fights or say any cuss words, every Friday I got a WWF Hasbro figure. But not only that, this is where I got video games. This is where I got Metal Gear Solid 2. This is where I got Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. This is the place I had the Earthbound big Super Nintendo thing in my hand. I didn't get it, but this place used to be awesome. KB Toys is my favorite store as far as toys or video games go ever. We had a tradition in my family that we would come here, we would go in there, we would give our parents ideas of what we wanted to do, and then just a stone's throw away, right here in this little pavilion area where that horse is Santa Claus. He would be there, and then there would be a little post office over here, a little drop box, and we would mail our letters to Santa. But it gets better. This is all in this little area. So we would walk out of KB Toys, which was right here, and then walk right down here, which we're gonna do right now. We would mail our letters to Santa, and right there used to be a JCPenney's. So if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you know how awesome JCPenney's was because they had the Christmas catalog. So we would also go in there and get a catalog and circle it, and we would show off all the stuff we wanted. But right here, up these stairs where those two horses are, that is where Santa Claus was. All in this little area right here that we're standing. Santa Claus, the drop box for Santa's letters, all kinds of beautiful old 80s Christmas decorations were hanging down through here, and it was awesome. Also, worth noting, this was a Hibbett Sports, which is where I got my very first pair of Jordans. This is where I got my 94 Air Maxes. I believe they were Barclays. All my cleats, my King Griffey Jr. cleats, all of my sporting goods, all came from Hibbett Sports right here. And what makes this little area even better is starting right here, there's Tess, starting right here and all the way around where you see this different color tile. You have to use your imagination. This was all lined with baseball vendors. They would have baseball card shows in here. The first thing I ever collected was baseball cards. They would line this entire area right here. They would go to about right here where this bench is. They would rope it off and they would cut it across over here, and then they would continue the wrap all the way around this little pavilion. Now, I collected Frank Thomas, Mike Piazza, and Michael Jordan cards. It was my three main cards, and I got so many awesome cards in this little circle that I just showed you. This is where I learned commerce. This is where I learned, that trading always wasn't the best thing, but it all happened right here. And what's cool is still at Christmas time, they still decorate this place. Even though 90% of it is closed, they still decorate it. You can still come leave letters to Santa. And for years, I brought my kids down here. They would come see Santa. They had mother letters. And it's beautiful here at Christmas. But the baseball cards, it all happened right around this area. Like I said, there are still some stores here, none that interest me. Basically everything that you see down through, which we're gonna go down there anyways, everything you see down through here is all government buildings, which I'm not gonna show. But we are gonna talk about this lone two-door area right here down these steps. This was one of my favorite stores in the Richmond Mall because this used to be a hobby shop. This is where they would, when yo-yos came back, they sold yo-yos, tie Beanie Babies, but my favorite was Pogs. Pogs and Slammers. This was the mecca to get those. Now, my friend, for his birthday, which was just a few days ago, but this is 30 years ago, got the Beavis and Butthead Slammer, which was about that thick, that we called the Black Widow. Now, if you're not familiar with what Slammers are, or Pogs were these little circular things that they made that you would get from Subway. You could get all over the place, and they had licensed stuff on there. So back in the day, that was the best way to get Freddy, Jason, Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. You could get all those things. And on the back, they were white. But on the other side, they had artwork and all these things that you would want. Well, you would make a stack of them, and then you'd have a Slammer. you would slam that slammer, and whatever ones you flipped over, whether they were yours or not, you got to keep. So that was the first teaching of gambling that I had. I lost so many awesome pogs to Dustin's slammer, the Black Widow, the Beavis and Butthead slammer. If I can find a picture of that thing, I'm gonna post it up here because, you know, most slammers were very small. This slammer was that thick and destroyed everything it touched. So now at the end of the mall, we must talk about this area. Again, you're gonna have to use your imagination. But this door, this wall used to not be here. This wall used to continue, and it used to have a ramp similar to the one that you see Tess walking up right there. But this ramp would take you, and it would take you to the very first Hastings that we had here. Hastings I've covered many times. I have gotten so many great memories of Hastings. Behind this wall is where I pre-ordered Halloween Resurrection. This is where I started my DVD collection. This is the first Hastings I went to, was behind this wall. So imagine, you walk from here, from Cinemark, and you come down through here and walk into there, and you could most of the time pre-order the movie that you just watched, or, you know, go movie shopping. It was just a great time. This is what I miss about the malls. And while we're down here, I guess we should cover this too. This is no longer a church, so I'm gonna film it. But this used to be a Sears. So this is the other entrance of the mall down here. You would walk in the mall, and right here would be a Sears. And for some reason, I don't know why, Sears always reminds me of like yard work and Christmas. I don't remember asking for anything from Sears, but this was a Sears. Unfortunately, everything, well, this is funny. This is actually kind of funny. Everything on table is free. It got to a point where I guess people were trying to take the table, and there used to be a sign that said, except for the table. But yeah, you know, I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time, mainly for me. I don't know how long my memory is gonna hold up, but I love this mall. I mean, it has the same smell it has when I was a kid. They talk about your senses and the things you remember. And for me, my sense of smell can take me to holidays. It can take me to places better than any visual memory. But fortunately, I still have this place, and I have a good enough memory that I can still remember some of the stuff in here. And I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time. Like I said, when it's raining and stuff, sometimes to break up the monotony of going on hiking or walking at the gym, or we just come in here, and I love this place. I grew up in here. I was here. This mall was pretty much operational right after, until I graduated high school, like 2000. I graduated in 2003. Around 2007, 2008, it started to kind of close down. These malls are closing down right and left. I mean, this part of our lives are not going to be here, and so I try to soak this up. I wanted to make this video for quite some time, and as I was walking, I kept seeing more stores closing, and I thought maybe this is the time, because, you know, if a hospital buys this, or if somebody buys this, I'm never going to get to make this video. But this is where it all started. This mall is where I started collecting physical media. This is where I have so many fond memories. So guys, thank you for watching. I know not a lot of people watch these videos, but I do enjoy making them. And you know, share some mall memories down below. If you still have a mall in your area operational, let me know. I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And guys, until next time, farewell from the Richmond Mall. I'll see you at the movies.